Turns into Cap like a werewolf.
We are live, by the way. And so with this, let's get going on the intro. Definitely didn't work.
Welcome to the Geek Battle Zone. We discuss comics and puny minds are blown. We debate Marvel versus DC, Skeletor, X-Men, and Ron Weasley. Judge David slams down the gavel and Cap dreams of Henry Cavill. It's a Geek Battle stream, nerd rage as we assemble our Geek Avengers team. Welcome to the Geek Battle party. We are the Justice League and our Batman is Marty. Sick Hitler's a Tim, as movies are greenlit. Every new movie, Dev's already seen it. Xbox, Star Wars, and Star Wars Star Riders. He-Man, Star Trek, and David loves spiders. We battle as Morrow, and Disney will blink. And we try to crown the Geek of the Week. It's the Geek Battle Show. Welcome to the Geek Battleground, where we use the Force and the One Ring is found. Cap is wrong about Resident Evil 6. Everyone watch out, cause oh shit, it's Nick. Gerald and Tim and Diz will try to win at the Geek Battle Quiz. David and Dave will confuse their crew as they dive in the TARDIS of Doctor Who. Watch out now, we're full of hot takes. Doug Courtney is garbage, but Red Dwarf is great. You love Sega, I love Nintendo, but in the Geek Battle, we are all friendos. Oh, it's a Geek Battle show. Oh, the Geek Battle show. It's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Geek Battle show.
Okay, yes, so welcome to Geek Battle. We're going to discuss all kinds of interesting things on the show tonight. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I have seen Squid Game's finale.
Yes.
And so we can get into that, and we'll get into so much more. There's like all kinds of things going on. I just read that the new Perfect Dark video game has been cancelled after it has been literally 20 years since the last one released now. So that's a shame. But on the show tonight, we have Capelthave. Say hello to the people.
Hail from the land of photographs, horses, and what else did I do? Sharks, yes. It's me, Capelthave. And yeah, my geek fact for the day, just made it up right now. See, one of the powerful characterizations of Dracula we all know from Castlevania, but even though in the video game he does lose in every match, but he always comes back. Another version of Dracula that is very powerful is one of the Helsing ones, which is Alucard/Dracula, because at the end it becomes omnipresent. But I have to argue that the Dracula from Van Helsing is also very powerful because he only has one weakness, and that is a bite from a werewolf. Other things can't kill him at all. The only thing that can kill him is a bite from a werewolf. And you have to do it on the first day you transform, because after that day, Dracula will have mind control over you. So he only has like a 1 day, one full moon window for a new werewolf to kill him. Otherwise, he can't be killed.
Ah, that is interesting. I did not know any of that. But Dave, say hello to the people.
Hello to the people. My name is Dave MC here in Paris, France. I hope you're all having a fantastic day today. My geek fact for the day is, I got my refer to my note, is that the famous line, "May the Force be with you" from Star Wars, the first time it was ever spoken was not by a Jedi. It was spoken by, I got the name here, General Dodonna, who was the one who went over the plans to attack the Death Star. He was the one who said, "Man your ships, and may the Force be with you."
Well, there we go. That is definitely worth a bonus point there. That is really cool.
I need Dracula on bonus points.
Yeah, no.
Wait, wait, I'm confused. So they never said that before. They never said that in the prequels.
No. What I mean, Cap, is
That doesn't
A
count.
New Hope was the first film, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay,
was the first film, and Alec Guinness, so Obi-Wan, he was saying the Force will be with you always, but it was General Dodonna who said, "May the Force be with you."
But who said it in the books? Star Wars is based on the books, right? Book series.
No.
Can we minus Cap's point that he got for his geek fact for that dumb statement?
Isn't originally based on a book. It was made as like the original movie, and like the interesting thing when it was made, you guys probably be able to help me with this if I'm slightly off, was that it wasn't seen as a major deal, just a kids' film, and that's why George Lucas was like, well, I can have the sales. I love it. I can have the royalties from the toys, right? Am I right about that?
What was that? I missed that. I was laughing too hard.
Lucas, so they were like, it's just a kids' film. He managed to swing it so he'd get the merchandise and like toy sales.
He got rich off those toy sales.
Like, I think they didn't even think it was that big a deal, and he just like created this thing.
And
that's why, like, when you watch it, and like Luke is like, oh, I think like Leia fancies me or whatever. And it's like, he had no plan for there to be a sequel. They had to then figure out, you know, okay, here's an interesting link between Star Wars and Halloween. They make the first film, and there's just like two characters that aren't siblings. That they're like, shit, we need to try to make this a more cohesive universe. What if they're brother and sister? Right.
And that aged very well.
There's a robot chicken sketch of like after that happened, and like Leia goes, "Oh my god!" And then George is like, "Yeah."
But
I do. I think this is actually technically a fact that should be belong to Rob. Is that he said about Star Wars is that George Lucas's wife actually rewrote all the dialogue. Apparently, the original dialogue was even worse than what was in the final product. And I think even with that, I think it was who played Han Solo? I forgot the name of the actor.
Harrison Ford.
Yeah, Harrison Ford technically said to George Lucas, "Is this that you can write this line, but you can't say it."
Oh yeah, you squeeze whatever you're squeezing.
It's my stress toy. I'm trying.
What's the name of the guy that played Han Solo? Asks Cap.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
Okay, so here's another.
Who's Luke Skywalker? Sorry, I'm just kidding.
Right, so one of the things I thought was quite fun. I'd heard this before, but I forgot it until recently. So obviously they're making Spaceballs too, and apparently Mel Brooks like spoke to George Lucas about he's going to do this parody of Star Wars. He kind of wanted a blessing or something like this. Like, do you mind if I do it? And he gave a couple of conditions. He's like, don't make toys. So once again, like, don't make toys of this because they're similar characters. But he also said, your character that's based on Han Solo, don't have it just look like Han Solo. So they dressed up Bill Pullman's character as Indiana Jones instead. Lone Star. Let's look. Lone Star.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
I really want to see Spaceballs now because I'm getting hyped for it. I've never seen it, and I really want to.
Okay, well, do you know it's going to be such an interesting thing because obviously, if you've seen the original Star Wars films, it's as aged as that in terms of like. But
well, yeah.
Let's have a look here.
Dave, you haven't seen Spaceballs?
No, I haven't seen Spaceballs. I've seen clips of Dark Helmet and like some of the funny moments. Like the thing that I found funny is when they're in the desert and he's wearing a old British explorer's outfit and his helmet is just a massive explorer's head, like explorer's hat, with two holes in it as he's just looking around.
I mean, to be fair, like I wouldn't say that's the most funniest moment.
Just like the brown jacket, and they gave him the hat, you know.
My favorite thing in that whole movie is the helmet. It's just like everything that guy does just made me laugh more than anything else.
That's Rick Moranis. You've seen Ghostbusters, right?
Yes.
So he's the Keymaster.
remind me where.
So do you remember, like, there's the little dude who is the neighbor of Dana, who Bill Murray.
Oh yeah, yes,
and
yes,
he's like,
yes.
he gets turned into a dog, you know.
Yes.
And he's also Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yep.
Yeah, no, Rick. So the sad true story about Rick Moranis is he retired from acting because his wife passed away and they'd got children, and he was like, I'm just going to be a dad, and he kind of left acting. And so him coming back for Spaceballs 2 is like his first movie appearance in
so they said, so he's coming back for it.
Yeah, so he's coming back for it. So obviously, look, Bill Pullman is the dad of whatever the guy's name that played his son that plays Sentry in Thunderbolts, and he is going to be in this as well. So they'll have Lone Star. Now you've got. Are they going to do something where he's like a Kylo Ren, where you know?
Oh,
where,
that'd be funny. That'd be so funny.
Yeah, they're going to make fun of the whole sequel.
Yeah, they need to make fun of the fact like no, keep back. We want the originals. We don't want your sequels. Like no one likes your sequels. You know.
What if it's like they make like obviously the character to be like Kylo Ren, instead of like dark helmet, it'd be darker helmet, and the helmet's just bigger.
Even bigger.
And when he takes off the bigger helmet, it's just another big helmet underneath it.
I think recently, I saw a clip of I think it was an interview with Mark Hamill. I think one of the guys says my favorite Star Wars movie of all time is Last Jedi, and
Yes.
you can see Mark Hamill's face is that he still wants to be nice to the interviewer, but you can see the shock in his face.
You almost see in that interview he's restraining himself and going, I like that movie. Everything was good. Right? Johnson is a terrific director.
I feel like he's gonna jump out and choke him out.
Okay, here's a question for you guys. How much responsibility does the likes of Mark Hamill, Harrison? Well, he was only in the first one. The first sequel film, it was what it was. But how much do they have a responsibility of agreeing to film it? Like, if I was Mark Hamill, I'd just be like, wait, so I only appear in the last 20 seconds of the first film, and you're killing me in the second film without actually being present for the fight where I die.
He was very vocal about it. Like, there's lots
After the fact.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is true. But again, money, David, money. Disney.
Money!
Well, I'd say Mark wanted to keep the legacy of the character going. He wanted that. And like Harrison Ford, of course, he didn't like Han Solo, so he was done with that. So I think Harrison Ford just wanted out of that as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
But for Mark Hamill, this was his character. This was what I think made Mark Hamill like being Luke Skywalker. So yeah, I think he had great respect for the character. But I think this was before he saw the script for The Last Jedi and what the fuck is this shit?
Well, see, that's the problem. This is where they always say J.J. Abrams wasn't the right guy, because he did Lost and stuff like this as well. And it's like, we'll set up a mystery without knowing. They should not have started filming The Force Awakens if they didn't have the full outline of where they were going with this trilogy.
Exactly.
But apparently that was the case, right? I mean, like, that's the case with like current day Marvel, is that they did all these films without actually conscripting a narrative like they did in the before MCU, where they really planned out how they're going to do things. In this, the next Marvel phase was really like that. But I think before Marvel screwed it up, I think it was originally Star Wars was the one that just like, oh, we're doing it with this guy. Oh, we don't know, we're bringing in this guy, and
that's the thing. That's the thing, Cap, is that Star Wars had legends. It had all these stories that it could have gone with. It could have gone with Abeloth. They could have gone with the Brotherhood of the Sith. They could have gone with Darth Krayt. They could have gone anywhere with this.
Yeah.
But they chose to ignore all that history and all that legacy to make something new. And as David said, and as I always say, they never had a plan. And you had Kathleen Kennedy obviously making her point plain, like, I want this to happen. But then there was, like you said, no direction. This isn't from Iron Man to Infinite to Endgame level storytelling. It's like, this is just, or this happens, and then that happens, and then this happens.
But
Basically,
also,
Marvel
I forget the guy's name that played Harrison Ford. No, right? That directed the. What was the guy's name that directed the Last Jedi?
That's right. That was Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Johnson, right? And then they were going to have a different guy, something Trevello or something like this, Trello, who was going to direct the third one.
Yeah,
but they took him off of it when Fantastic Four flopped, right? Do you remember this? Right? And
was that Colin Trevorrow?
Yeah, that's it. He did. I think he did Fantastic Four, which was a nightmare, like shitty film. And
then also he had a problem in set. I think like he had a lot of issues with the actors and stuff like that.
Well,
Kathleen Kennedy had a problem with him having a problem with everybody else.
No, I think what happened was that like Fantastic Four was a nightmare. Like I don't know what he's done since. He'd only done like a indie, like big, but still like an indie sci-fi film or something like this. And suddenly he was put on. What's going on?
I'm just thinking. I'm sorry, I'm thinking out loud. Was it Jurassic World?
I thought you were trying to communicate something.
No.
Like, they can't hear me or something like this. Right? Yeah. So I think when Fantastic Four was not seen as a hit, they were like, "We're going to get this guy off of Star Wars." They went back to J.J. Abrams, who was like, "Right, I was in charge of The Force Awakens. People liked it. Then no one liked what they did with The Last Jedi. So now we've got to try to make it fan-pleasing somehow." And they were like, so Snoke or whatever, who was like this character, he's gone. Princess Leia died. And then but I also think J.J. Abrams was perhaps in the idea of like, hey, this is cool. Harrison Ford will bring back your Force Ghost. And someone was you can't have a Force Ghost.
If you see
bring him back in some other form.
If you see the interviews, I think he did. He was unintentionally mean to the fans. Like I think his whole marketing campaign, like there's clips of it on YouTube you can see. He's like, "I'm gonna destroy your hero. Oh, I'm gonna ruin this. I'm gonna ruin that." The marketing for that film was also crap because like director was basically doing. The guy who directed Thor did when he was doing Love and Thunder, when he said like, "Oh, I'm gonna make this I'm gonna turn your hero into a bumbling idiot," or something like that.
Yeah.
He was very intentionally mean to the fans, and I think the plan is like, it's unironically a movie that destroys. You know how Joker 2 literally destroys Joker.
Yeah,
that was for like The Last Jedi. Basically, like this whole thing is stupid. Burn it, bury it all. Like that was the whole thing with the movie. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? Why am I here to watch a film that shits on Star Wars?
I'll tell you what. When you just mentioned Joker and the situation with that, I almost, as we've discussed it on the show, I'm almost of the opinion that Joker 2 may have actually been a stroke of genius. They didn't want to make it, right? And so they did the most Joker thing imaginable by turning it into a shitty musical with no purpose. Have you seen the film Man on the Moon with Jim Carrey?
No.
Oh my god, guys!
I love Jim Carrey films. Why? I've never heard of that one.
Yeah.
Okay, listen to this. So it's a biopic. The first time I knew of what I'm about to tell you about, I think was from that film, or I'd heard tiny things about it, but that opened my mind to, I need to learn more about this topic. Man on the Moon, Jim Carrey plays a comedian who was big in the 80s called Andy Kaufman.
I've seen that, David. I've seen that.
So listen to this. So Andy Kaufman, Jim Carrey went method playing him.
Oh my god!
Apparently, was problematic on the set. Although some rumors suggest that he did that just to create hype, because Andy Kaufman, who he was playing as an actor and as a personality, was at times a problem. But I'll describe how. So Andy Kaufman was in a sitcom with Danny DeVito and I forget who else was in it, called Taxi in the 1980s. And he played like a little foreign guy with a weird accent. He was like, "Oh, thank you very much." And he'd just be like the little weird comic relief character. And he was also on like Saturday Night Live and stuff like this. But here's the thing. He would do things that would just be a joke that he would find funny and a friend of his would find funny. So he would turn up with face prosthetics on and call himself Tony Clifton, and then be a really horrible comedian telling bad jokes and getting into arguments with the crowd and completely unprofessional, right? And he'd be doing this, I'm really drunk and I don't, and it like this kind of thing. And then rumors started to be that, hey, this guy Tony Clifton, that really bad comedian, it's actually Andy Kaufman. So then people would turn up and say, oh, you got to see this guy. Then he'd put his friend in the same makeup. And so then his friend would be there doing the same character. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, screw you. And they'd be like, we want Andy Kaufman. And then Andy Kaufman turned up. And they were like, wait, he's not Andy Kaufman. And then he'd be like, Kaufman, I hate you, right? And Tony Clifton would then chase Andy Kaufman off. And then the audience suddenly realized, like, wait, that means that this awful comedian isn't Andy Kaufman. And now we're the awful comedian. And then some of them would go backstage and just laugh about it.
To be fair, I think he was the first troll.
He's genuinely like a troll. When you watch this movie, it's a tiny spoiler, but when you watch the movie, he's got a stage show. Andy Kaufman comes out and they're shouting at him, like, do Lazzo, which is the character from Taxi. And he's like, I'm not going to do that. He's like, today I would like to read from you Moby Dick. And he gets the book and he starts reading. It was the best of times. It was or whatever I forget what that's from, right? But he starts reading Moby Dick. There's the whale at sea, and people are kind of giggling nervously. He's just reading Moby Dick, right? And he gets a chapter down, and they're like, boo, boo. And he's like, oh, you don't want me to read this? They're like, no. It's like, do you want me to put the record player on? They're like, yeah, anything. He puts it down. He puts the needle on, and it continues reading Moby Dick. And then he got Andy he got Tony Clifton, which was his friend, a guest spot on the sitcom Taxi, who just turned up and was drunk and had to be removed from set. And it was all this kind of stuff. So when you learn about his story, he was like a genius, but also like so ahead of his time. It was a different kind of comedy, which in terms of like the modern era, it would be all like, here's the hidden camera of what was happened. Here's, the behind the scenes of how he pulled
first internet troll.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I forget even why we mentioned about him. Why did we mention him anyway?
We were talking about how Joker and
so Andy Kaufman, like going out on stage, reading Moby Dick, and then just letting it play on a record player until the whole audience left and hated it, was a victory for him. So Joker 2, they didn't want to make it. It's like, fine, if they're going to make it, we'll make it a musical. We'll sing some songs. Everyone will hate it. We'll undo the first film. And that feels like the most prankster Joker thing that they could possibly do.
Do you think it was done in that regard? Like they did that for the sole purpose of, right, we fucked it up so badly, we'll never make another one again.
Or maybe, but you remember, we've definitely discussed this on the phone, because obviously it's Joaquin Phoenix. I just remembered. Joaquin Phoenix is the guy that went on like the David Letterman show and just sat there and just didn't speak. Do you remember? Do you guys remember this?
I remember that.
So he just went on there. Like David Letterman was like, and he's got like a big beard, and he says like, "Oh, I'm going to become a rapper now," and he's like, "So, like I hear you working on a new movie," and he's like, "Yeah, I am." Right, and he's like, I've seen a clip of it. It's fantastic. It's like, do you have like any fun stories of you working with whoever your co-star was? He's like, no, not really. Right.
I have to say,
then he says the best line. David Letterman says the best line. I think it was Letterman. I might be muddling up. He's like, well, Joaquin, I'm sorry you couldn't be with us tonight. And Joaquin Phoenix, because he was doing this for a movie. He was getting this footage. He went in character as himself for a movie called I'm Not There Anymore. I'm Still Here. I forget what it was called. But it was as if Joaquin Phoenix in real life had gone crazy, decided to become a rapper, retired from acting. And so he went on this chat show. The chat show host didn't know that he was pulling this prank just so they could get the footage. But like Joaquin Phoenix started like smirking a little bit, right? And he's like, oh, he had to play off like, oh, you think you're funny and stuff like this. But I love this kind of having a persona and creating like, because you create controversy and mystique around yourself, don't you?
I mean, David, I would say these are the people in show business I would like to call pricks.
Pricks?
Yeah.
I love it, right?
Yeah, because here's the thing, right? Even with the, like Jim Carrey's whole method of acting, like I think the people who really draw attention to like stuff like that, I do really think that they don't know how to do proper films or do know how to do proper jokes or things like that. So they just fuck up it all, and they just realize they got famous, and they we'll just keep doing the fuck up thing. I would say it's equivalent to Logan and Jake Paul. We laugh about it now. We make fun of those twos, but like I would say it's very equivalent to that in the old 80s and 90s things. It's because they can't do proper things. They just do the whole weirdness thing, and they find like audience find it shocking. I can't believe he did that.
I don't know a lot about Logan and Jake Paul's early days. They're YouTube. So you know the drink Prime?
Yeah.
You don't know the drink Prime in France?
Nope.
Oh wow. Okay, so
I was in the UK for years and I still didn't know what it was.
No, it's fairly recent. It's fairly recent. Prime.
Yeah.
So it's like an energy drink.
Oh, it's fairly recent.
Yeah.
Still don't know it.
Okay. Well, anyway, so they were two YouTubers. They became big. They may have done other things, and then they got into celebrity boxing. One of them's now a wrestler. It's really weird, and one of them promotes a drink. One of them is the guy that fought Mike Tyson when he was 60 years old. So, if you don't tell me, wait, you don't know who Mike Tyson is?
I know who Mike Tyson is.
Okay, Jesus, like I'm worried now.
I'm not that.
You didn't know Mike Tyson.
Yeah, and he's looking at me weird when I say things.
Yeah, right.
I can't look at you. I'm looking at your photo.
Okay, let's change direction a little bit. So, who here has seen Squid Game season 3?
Yes,
I've only seen season 1. After that,
Cap, are you
David,
afraid
it's your fault. It's your fault, David. You made an entire article saying that it's the whole Running Man thing. Oh, fine. I'll watch the Arnold movie. I don't want any spoilers.
Do you know they're making a new Running Man movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched the trailer yesterday. It looked really good.
I saw it a week ago. Yeah, I didn't even know they were making it, and it's out soon.
Sorry, before we go back to Squid Game, I just want to say, do you think they're doing it like? Correct me if I'm wrong. Are they doing it like it's the whole city against one man?
Yeah.
Is that how they're doing it now?
It's closer to the book because the Running Man is a book by Stephen King, and he'd written it under a pen name, Richard Bachman or something like this. I kind of forget what the original release was under, but then they were like, yeah, this is Stephen King. But the original was quite different than the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, because I don't think it was like, oh, there is a game zone. I think it was that you just have to survive in this city. There are people hunting you. Wow. And you had to like survive for a month. Whereas like how the Arnold Schwarzenegger one feels like it's just one evening. You know,
it's just an afternoon for me.
I get down.
I was here yesterday.
Down, it's down.
Dev, hello.
Hello. I just walked in.
You did. You've just you've come
no, I literally walked into my house.
Oh, okay. What, from France?
Yes.
Oh well, hello. Good to see you.
Did you kidnap Dave as I told you to?
No.
Couldn't find me.
Did you kidnap
I'm
at
a
least
slippery
Blueberry?
figure to find.
Did you at least kidnap Blueberry?
No, I was trying to find Goofy.
Ah.
I think we may be about to see Blueberry. Okay, so let's come on to we were just discussing there's a new Running Man movie. I'll bring the trailer up for it actually.
The cast looks good.
Who is the guy that's in the main guy in it? I forget his name.
Him.
The Running Man 2025 trailer. 2 days ago.
Stop filming me!
Shut up! Jesus! I'm gonna stop filming you. Wow.
What the hell was that?
That was the Running Man. He went, "Stop filming me," because I was, like I said, this one.
I thought Cap had just gone really quiet and he was yelling at us.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get the shield. So Geek Battle, and let's get Running Man. So literally, he just says, "Stop filming me."
Running Man.
So yeah, we'll react to this as well.
Because the only thing I had was the Arnold film, and I thought the Arnold film was the more faithful. I didn't even know it was a book.
Yeah, it's Stephen King. Like when you think of like Shawshank Redemption, Green Mile, Running Man, these are all based on Stephen King things that you don't quite expect to be.
Well, yeah, because the endings in them are good.
But yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm not going to give spoilers for the ending of this, but the Arnold movie really changes it. Like,
what, you mean he doesn't throw his enemy into a billboard for a giant teleporting fast transit machine thing?
Maybe not, but it's not exactly that.
He doesn't say cutie pie?
No.
Ah. That's Josh Brolin.
Yes, it was. When did he say cutie pie in that one?
Cutie pie?
Oh, is that what the, like... No, who says cutie pie?
Arnold.
To what? When?
Near the end of the film, when he catches up to the big bad evil guy. He does it. No, not big guy, but the guy who's running the Running Man event. He goes, "Hello, cutie pie. One of us is in deep trouble."
Oh wow, I don't remember that line. Okay,
yeah, you can see it in my Terminator playthrough.
So the idea is, the character is still Ben Richards, and the idea, I think, in this version, is that you volunteer to be in the Running Man, and that's where it's
Running Man, Hunger Games.
Yeah, because in the Arnold movie, it's that he's arrested, and because they've escaped from that prison with the collars around their neck. It's great, and I think the idea is that that they got captured in the original and then made to be in the Running Man. Whereas I think in this one, because the book is a long time ago, I think he needs money for his family, and so enters the Running Man. And the longer you live, the more money you survive. The more money you get, the longer you survive. And so, like, everyone is after him. I don't know if everyone's after him, actually, or if it's still just... I don't think you're going to get Sub-Zero. Now you are Plane Zero. I don't think you get those characters in it. But who knows? They might put some references.
So it's almost like the Purge, but you're just after one guy.
Yes, you're right, actually.
Isn't that the plot to Jackpot?
The plot
John Cena movie.
John Cena movie. I don't think I've ever... The only John Cena movie I've ever watched, other than Argyle, where he was in it for like 3 seconds, was Suicide Squad, and I've sworn to never watch a John Cena movie since.
I think there's also John Wick. I think John Wick 4 and 3 is...
Okay, hang on. I just want to highlight something here. Just watch this 1 second. So they're shooting at him down this corridor, right? It's a really narrow corridor. Why are they hitting the walls constantly? Just shoot down the middle.
Well, you don't understand bad guy logic. Is that they all have terrible aim.
That is terrible. Because it's not like he's got room to dodge.
Why is G.I. Joe there?
Right. He's running straight down the corridor.
I mean, that was a pretty cool shot with it flying through the window and then going through the corridor.
Yeah.
Speaking of G.I. Joe being places you're not supposed to be, what is this entire here about a massive Transformers G.I. Joe crossover thing?
Transformers G.I. Joe? I didn't hear anything about this.
With Mark Wahlberg coming back.
Ugh.
And what's his name? Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox.
Look at that, he's got like a super soaker gun, and he's like, that's a cool way to get them.
I think that's going to be Edgar Wright?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a really good movie.
It's in good hands then. If it's Edgar Wright, it's good hands.
Yeah. But no, I don't know this transform. I'll try to look up about it.
It's Michael Bay coming back.
Yeah, it's a Michael Bay coming back.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe meets Transformers.
Apparently.
I mean, to be fair, like with Michael Bay, I would say his first 3 Transformers films are super great. Afterwards,
I think if you had what's it? The guy who runs Cobra,
Yeah.
his original voice, and Megatron's original voice, we wouldn't understand the thing that's going on.
There is a precedent.
Hello, Optimus Prime.
I think that's Starscream. I think that's Starscream. Dave, you just did.
What, Optimus Prime? Oh no.
Hey, look, there genuinely is a precedent for it, and you think they're their two biggest like toy lines, probably.
Yeah, for Hasbro.
Just get them going together. Why not? I don't know. I've only seen one of the Transformer movies, and I've only seen the second G.I. Joe film. So
I would highly recommend, David, you finish the trilogy because I think that it's like Michael Bay's best work are only those three films.
You know,
wait. Michael Bay's best work is the Transformer movie.
Okay, no. I think this is
First three.
I mean, nostalgia for his childhood movies.
Wait, what else did Michael Bay do? Because I guarantee there are other films before
Ninja
that.
Turtles.
He did what?
Ninja Turtles.
Oh, the best Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
No. Look, he did The Rock and Armageddon, guys, and Bad Boys and The Island. It all just went down from there. Armageddon is a great movie.
Wait, isn't The Island that thing where people go to an island and they all start mingling with each other?
Turning to animals and stuff.
Oh no, that's Love Island.
That's The Island.
No.
That's Love Island.
It's Island if you've not seen it.
It's Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery.
No, it's Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson.
What?
It's a real,
How many movies called The Island are there?
If you haven't seen The Island, watch it. It's a really good film. If I tell you about it, it'll spoil the plot.
I think he also did Pearl Harbor. I think
He did.
in terrible films.
The actual thing of the movie.
I think it may have been here.
Which is more horrifying.
I don't remember because the only thing about that is I played it in a Medal of Honor game like yonks ago, and so what you're saying, Dev, is that whole time when I was blaming the AI for killing me, I should be going Michael Bay.
Yeah, to be fair, look, he is good with. He's especially good with explosions.
I mean, I think again, my favorite Michael Bay films. It's just this. I mean, Bad Boys. I like Bad Boys too, but I.
You like it because you were a kid when they came out.
Yeah, but
because they were good.
Okay, Deb. So you're saying those three Transformers movies are not good?
Yes.
You're saying the three Transformer movies that were actually good are
Don't
not good?
Bumblebee.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not.
Anyway.
I'm not defending.
Guys, now we need to get into Squid Game 3. I've been waiting all show to do this. So, Dave, what did you enjoy it?
I did. Right up until the end.
Yes, exactly. I think it had one of the dumbest shit endings I've ever seen on anything ever. And I can't believe they did it. There is zero logic to it. Just take me back in time so I didn't watch it.
I just think the thing that they did, like when they first, I think you probably know what I'm talking about. What they did.
Hang on, let's check here. Look, guys, if you haven't seen Squid Game, look, we need to discuss this in detail if we're going to do it.
Yep.
I don't care about spoilers.
Does no one care?
Okay, so right, go for it, Dave.
Yeah, so when the woman has her baby and then all the hosts say, "Oh, the baby will take her place," I thought, "Holy shit, that's dark!" And I like it, and it's dark, and it's oh, that's pretty good. But then I felt like it kind of held the show back because every character was then making dumb decisions.
Have you ever played Death Stranding? With Norman Reedus carrying
the Amazon delivery game.
Yeah,
one game.
He's walking around carrying a baby, right? Oh shit, we just lost Dev.
Dev!
Right, okay. Well, anyway, so in Death Stranding, Norman Reedus is a video game, and he's like walking around carrying a baby. Suddenly, Ji-hun, the main character, player 456, she's like, "Well, I'm just going to carry a baby for the next 3 episodes."
Yeah. And the thing is that they didn't say, "Oh, at any point, oh, we need to make sure the baby's okay. We'll give the baby some formula, but apart from that, fuck it, it's playing the game. Right now, you gotta lick this thing and then get this puzzle out of the shape. Go on, baby, start licking the puzzle."
It was stupid. I don't agree with the baby thing at all.
No,
The bigger thing for me, if I just jump straight to my contention with it, if you haven't seen it, the scenario for the ending, the final game, there is this baby who is now one of the players because the mother gave birth and then gets killed, and they say that the baby counts as a player. They establish that doesn't just have to be one winner of this though. And so this baby could be a winner. The baby is no threat to anyone, and it just means it will reduce each person's share. But any of them could be, I'll look after the baby's money, right? Anyone could have said that, and just taken the baby or whatever. But it turns out that the baby's father is another one of the players, and it ends up just with player 456, Jihan, the main character from the whole show, and the baby's father. And Jihan doesn't trust that the father won't kill the baby. So even though he offers to sacrifice himself so that the baby and the baby's father could both survive. But then as soon as the guy seems a bit sketchy, which fair enough he did, Jihan forgets his offer to sacrifice himself. The father gets killed, but the rules of the game hadn't quite started. So the only way to save the baby is for Jihan to sacrifice himself. Now, at the end of the first series of Squid Game, Jihan won, and then he's like, I'm going to go and shut down these games and that company. And his plan is to put a tracking device in his tooth, which he does at the beginning of season 2. And then he arrives at the island, so then people can find him and save everyone before they all get killed. And there's 456 of them again, or however many. And he suddenly finds, oh no, the tracking device is there. He then plays through the entire games, so it's just him and the baby left. He has saved no one from their fate. No one at all. The front man under the mask, his brother, who comes at the end of the first series and confronts him, has been on his tail, finally finds the island, just in time to see Jihan sacrifice himself and die so that the baby can live. Now, the baby can't get away unless the main villain, the front man, comes and picks it up and actually honors saving it. So Jihan dies, never knowing if he actually died to save the baby or if the baby was just killed. He never knows that the cops found the island. They then blow up the whole island, and the front man gets away. And then the front man goes and delivers the baby 6 months later to his brother, who just finds that it's got all the money. Oh, and is the brother meant to be happy with the money for the baby? Like billions of whatever their currency is. And then he travels to, I think, America, where Jihan's daughter is a student. And and the front man, now seeming like the good guy, gives the daughter Jihan's money. And then as he's driving past an alleyway, he sees like a recruiter playing Dutchie, and it's played by Kate Blanchett, obviously teasing that they're going to do an American version of Squid Game. But for Jihan's story, he played Squid Game, had to kill his friend at the end of the first series, then put himself back in another game, abandoned his daughter, and then sacrificed himself, forgetting that he'd actually got a daughter out there that he might care about, gets himself killed, failed to save everyone, and the main villain got away and is still running games.
Yeah.
It was a bad ending. The bad guys won.
To be fair, that could be the point. I mean, what did you expect? It's the guy who couldn't even carry out his own life somehow ends up in a Squid Game and he wants, and suddenly he turns into the protagonist. And I'm going to shut down.
So, okay, watch series 2. You see that he's training with guns. You see that he's getting people involved. So he's got a little team. Even the front man's brother, who is a cop, they're now working together to take them down. Just 1 second, Dev. I will come to you, I promise. Right, so let me just paint this alternative scenario. It's just him and the baby left. He could be like, the only way to save the baby is to sacrifice myself. and he could stand there about to just let himself drop off the edge of this tower and fall to his death. But suddenly, because there's a woman who has infiltrated there as well, she could have gone into where the rich, evil billionaires who are betting on Squid Game are, and you could have heard like a gunfire, just as the brother of the front man is holding a gun on the front man, and the brother hears gunfire, turns around, the front man escapes. But Ji-hun, just as he's about to drop, suddenly he's like, oh, wait, and he sees that his friend, the cop, has turned up. He could scramble to get the baby because there's no one going to kill them now because all of the Squid Game
This is too much of an optimistic Western storytelling. No, we're Asian. We don't do that.
They're all having to evacuate. The front man gets away. Ji-hun has saved the baby. They've now got the information and proof that the games exist. So the brother who's the cop could be like, we're hot on the tail now. And he could be like, thank you, Ji-hun. We couldn't have found it without you. And Ji-hun could be like, I'm going back to my daughter. And look, I've got a new baby that I'm going to look after as well. And if he didn't want to film anymore, that's the end of his story. You know, the brother can then go after him.
This is too much of a fairy tale ending, David. We don't.
I just want to add on to that. I want to add on to that.
Add on to it.
I'm gonna add on to that. Is that he goes to America where his daughter is, and he's driving down the street, and then he sees the American recruiter.
Yes, exactly.
Can I just say as well, Netflix, 2 minutes David had to come up with that ending.
Yeah.
And you screwed it up. It took him 2 minutes to do that.
Imagine, in fact, Dave, I'm going to add on to what you said. So Ji-hun should be the one to see the American recruiter, and it could still come up like 6 months later, and they could be like, oh, the front man's still out there. And then it could just be that he gets on the phone, and it's like, the Korean games weren't the only games. And that could be how they find out that more exist in the world.
Exactly.
And obviously it wouldn't be that he gets himself inserted into another game again, because now if they've got the evidence and they're going to go after them, then it could just the next series, if they want to do it, or even if it's an American one, could have like the Korean characters with a translator person. They could still be dubbed or just have a translator friend or whatever. It could be that they've got the expertise, they know about this, they've got some other people to be infiltrated in there, and just like the cop was in this one, he could be working the operation from the outside. And then there's something exciting where like the front man and the bad guys send people to try to take out Ji-hun, and he could have some exciting scenes on the outside if he doesn't always have to be, because look,
to be fair, American version of Squid Games exists. It'll be run by Mr. Beast.
Yeah. Oh my god, did you watch that show?
I didn't watch it. I signed up for it when it came out, when the auditions came out. I signed up for it.
You signed up for Beast Games?
Yeah, but I didn't get it.
Oh, Cap. Right, go on, Dev. You wanted to say something a minute ago.
So there was the director said there was an alternate ending.
Oh, I want to see the alternate ending because that one was shit.
It's the cop brother takes the baby.
Yeah.
And the frontman escapes.
Yeah.
Ji-hun wins and goes to his daughter.
Well, they should have used that ending.
The two of them meet Kate Blanchett.
Oh, they should have used that ending.
We just said that. How the fuck? How has that been a thing? We just sort of threw that out there. And that was the original thing.
Yeah.
Squid Game.
Internal nerd rage going on. I need my press toy. I'm breathing. I'm fine. I'm fine, Cap. I'm fine.
It was on Capital FM with an interview with the creator.
Yeah. So,
Cheers,
let's have a look here.
Serenity now.
Serenity, peace.
Ultimately, the series ends on a less uplifting note. Okay, in the beginning, when I was just vaguely thinking about about seasons 2 and 3, I thought of an ending where he makes out of the games alive and goes to see his daughter in the US. So it was kind of a happy ending. When I actually started writing, I got to thinking more and more about what it was that I wanted to say through. What did he want to say? That life sucks? What message would I give to the world?
That babies can play Squid Game too.
I mean, I've only seen season 1, but I think that's kind of the bleak thing, the message of the whole thing, right? Like, it sucks.
Well,
So his message was it's time for us to make sacrifices. But the whole point is his mission was to try to shut down the games, and he didn't do that.
no.
That's
never
called,
know.
no, David, that's called protagonist syndrome. In life, that doesn't work.
I
No,
tell
it
you
does,
what,
but it kills your soul.
no, I tell you what, it can work. You know, they need to look. You go back to the 80s, and it was always like if you stand up for yourself and you fight for things, then you can win through determination. That's what the message they need to be giving to people is, not just don't try because it's going to fail anyway.
I mean, if you hear any successful actor from the 2000s, everyone will say, "Yeah, the system doesn't work. You just don't try it." I think Bo Burnham is the one who actually went on Conan. I think when people ask him like, "What is your advice for our future comedians?" and things like that, it's like, give up. The system is against you. I mean, it will not work for you. I mean, in a weird, I think again, it kind of says some commentary on how the world is right now. In a weird way, there are success stories, but again, even back in the 80s and 90s, for every Arnold and every Sylvester Stallone, there's like thousands of horrible stories that didn't go through. Arnie himself actually sabotaged a lot of people's bodybuilding careers. He was not like the classic good guy in bodybuilding. There's like I think one guy. Okay, I don't want to say this on YouTube. But like again, life is full of villains, folks.
Yes, it is. Like, you know, and realistically, the villains of the world are the ones that you look to as like the authorities, like the police are villains, the doctors are villains, the hospitals are villains.
No, I'm saying
Anyway.
specifically. You know, like again, like the reason why I went to Arnold is because Arnold is this like great American dream story. He comes from Austria, he wins Universal, and he with an accent and everything breaks into acting and all this good stuff. And he does come off as a genuine good guy and things like that. But again, there's like documentaries about him, like how he ruined other people's bodybuilding career. There's other bodybuilders came out in stories and horror stories of Arnold. Where he was like such a dick. but
just like psychological tricks because they were his opponents, though? That's
exactly.
Well, like ruining their careers.
No, so the one example,
competition.
The one example, David, is that I think it's Tom Platz. He did win after Arnold, I think, went off from bodybuilding. Is that he tore his biceps while he was prepping for the show. And what he did, he didn't tell anyone, but he did enter the competition and he was fine. He did tell Arnold after his first doing the showcase, and the next time the judge came in and told Tom Platz to move his arm or things like that, and he couldn't. It was like, oh, you tear his bicep? Yeah, you're disqualified. He didn't tell anyone, and he was fine. He told Arnold that he was ruined. And then there's also
Arnold his opponent, though.
Yeah, Arnold was his opponent. Yeah. Yeah, but again, it's being a dick, Dave.
You have to use these advantages where they are.
It's the same as John Jones eye poking everyone. It's like when we say he's winning fights, sure, but he's still eye poking and doing steroids.
It's fine. He's retired.
So can I just drag it back to Squid Game for a bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
I'm drag it back there before Arnold calls in and he shoots us all out.
We're gonna get super rival.
I was just gonna say, did you David find the games in it lacking a little bit?
Oh hell yeah!
Because
so,
I think
what were they? The towers at the end.
So the towers were at the end. We had the jump rope, and then we had hide and seek.
Yes.
So I just found that it's going through what I'm calling Saw syndrome, as they're trying to up the ante on all the traps and all the games and that. They're almost underwhelming in a way. Like I find that the hide and seek one is like, okay, so I've seen this before. I've seen this before in another death game movie. I saw it in another film, and even then I thought, oh, okay, it's not very inventive. That's not a very good idea. And then they did it in Squid Game. And I thought the same thing. I'm like, This is a
The
really
thing I-
inventive thing. And
Okay, so help me remember from the first series as well. Did they have a game until the end where it was literally because in the hide and seek one, it's like you have to find and kill someone to progress? Did they actually have that?
in the
in the
first
first-
one,
I
no, I
think
don't.
so.
I don't think so in the first one because you had.
Remember when they did the marbles game? It was like whoever you have to get all the marbles from your opponent,
Yeah,
right? So
I remember that one.
and when whoever lost, the guard shoots you. It was only, I think, in the final game of the first series where the two had to play Squid Game, and where it became a fight to the death between the two of them. I don't remember any of the others actually being because then they had to go across where some of the glass will shatter. But that is
tug of war.
making a bad choice will kill them. Tug of war, if you get pulled over the edge, that will kill you. But it's not literally you have to stab someone.
Yeah, because I just found it that they're trying to up the scare, the thrill a little bit. Like, oh, they're gonna, these, like, especially when the pregnant woman was the killer, and then her husband or their ex-boyfriend had to hide. So and remember they could switch if they wanted to.
Yeah.
And I thought that was you're making a dumb character decision there when you could be the one. You're not at danger if you're the one hunting. But I just found the traps in this. I just say traps, but I found them very underwhelming in this series as compared to because the last one sort of surprised a little bit because we had a similar game with the red light, green light. We had a similar one, and then the next game is going to be this, and then it was something else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't remember all of what was in the first in series 2, the first half of this story. I quite liked the jump rope one where you had to cross a bridge. I didn't like necessarily that there was a gap in the middle. I didn't think that. I didn't necessarily like that bit.
Yeah, that was unnecessary.
Yeah, because it would have worked without there being a hole in the middle that you have to jump over. But in the first half of this, what did they have? They had one where you were on like not a merry-go-round, but there's something that was spinning you. You had to go in a room. Was that this series or the first one?
It was this one.
It was it this one?
I think it was.
Wasn't it that one where they drag each other into a room and whoever was left outside was shot?
Yes.
That was season 2.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. But that's still part of this story.
Yeah.
So this one was literally hide and seek, jump rope, and then the 3 things
and
at the end.
The 3 platforms.
The 3 platforms, yeah. But I can't remember. So the first half of this series was red light, green light. They didn't have the cookie one. They had this spinny one. That spinning platform. Oh, and they had the one where they're tied together.
They're tied together as well.
2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Yeah, that one.
What child's game that you would bet your life on for you to win? You would be comfortable.
Beyblade.
Ready, guys? Let's do it now. Okay. Hang on. Oh, Cap, you can't join in.
Just imagine me.
Cap will be there just going,
scissors.
fire.
Scissors. Right, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so let's do this.
Fine.
We'll do it. So let's do Dave and David. Then we'll do David and Dev. Then we'll do Dev and David. We'll work out what happens after that. So David and Dave to begin with. Right, okay. So rock, paper, scissors, and then shoot. Okay.
I call it.
Okay, go on, Cap.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Again.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Are you? That is such bastarding. That's hesitation. That is bullshit.
No, I call it the delay.
Yeah, bullshit. Right, Cap, how are you calling that?
I don't know. You call it. You're the boss.
Fine, Dave. You have it. Right, Dev. Come on.
All right.
Right, ready? Cap, call it.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Way too fast.
Your hand went up. What is
I
this?
couldn't see it. I couldn't see it.
Yeah, I did it. My hand just disappeared off the screen. Right,
Yeah.
Dev. The cheaters will see you. Dave and Dev. Right,
You call this one, David. You call this one, David.
Ready?
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors, Shoot. Dev wins.
Hang on, 1 second. I put that
Wait,
one down.
wait,
Oh!
Okay. So, guys,
Swipe
what
so-
else? We discussed the Squid Game. What else is on anyone's mind?
Sasha Baron Cohen is going to be Muppet
I've got
Stone.
something.
Oh, hang on. 1 second, Dev.
Go on,
What else
Cap,
you
Cap.
gotta say?
Sasha Baron Cohen is going to be Mephisto.
Mephisto. Actually?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're basing that on a meme, aren't you?
Yes, and it's true.
Oh boy.
Think about it. Mephisto coming. I like to move it. You like to move it. We like to move it. You like to... It's him. He's the one who played King Julian.
Oh, wait. So they say Marvel fans celebrate amazing villain debut. So was this on Ironheart?
It probably was.
Apparently.
Oh, okay. Do you know what? I haven't seen a single.
I
frame of
will
Ironheart.
not watch Ironheart.
Never interested in the first place.
Okay,
I never liked him in the
Fans
first place, so
waiting
why
for you
would I
for-
be interested now?
Okay, so hang on. My one concern is this character just like teased, or is he just like literally going to be killed off in Ironheart, and that's that after all this?
Do you think it's brand into the bit? Hello, my name is Mephisto. I am the devil and I do magic. It's nice.
Yeah,
He's actually pretty good. I think it's Alice, the second film of Tim Burton. I think he played the grandfather clock or something like that, and he was pretty good at that one.
Disagree. I would say the best thing I saw him in was Sweeney Todd.
yeah.
Oh yeah, he
The
was
best thing I saw him in was the dictator.
the best
What
thing.
eater?
The dictator.
The dictator.
Dictator. Oh.
For
Yeah.
me, I would say the best is still King Julian from Madagascar, but that's obvious.
Wait, what? The best what? Villain?
No, Sasha
No,
Baron Cohen.
Sacha
Oh, no,
Baron
okay,
Cohen,
the
the
best
character.
Baron Cohen. It's between Borat and Bruno. Have you seen the movie Bruno?
Oh God, yes.
Oh my
Wasn't
god,
Bruno
that film is
the-
unbelievable.
That was another version of
The
Borat,
Austrian,
isn't it?
the
Like
Austrian
he's like
homosexual.
he's like the gay guy from Austria. He's like, I am Bruno. My favorite bit though in Bruno, I
Cage
can't
fight.
remember.
The cage fight.
Oh, the cage fight is good. We can say what happens there in a second if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But I was going to say when he's like got a TV show, and they've got like set up so like people as if they're giving feedback on this potential TV show, and he's like, coming up later we'll have my exclusive interview with Harrison Ford, and then he's like, oh, so now here's my exclusive interview with Harrison Ford, and Harrison Ford walks out. He's like, Mr. Harrison Ford. He's like, fuck off, and that's it. Oh, and then, oh my god, in that same section, it just shows the close up of like a man's dick just swinging around, and then
yeah.
the camera, and then the end of it, the tip, it just goes Bruno. And I was like,
So
mate,
that's a reference to a very famous internet meme.
is it famous to an internet meme?
Yes, it's called Meat Spin.
What spin?
God.
Meat
Wait,
Spin.
what? What are we doing? What are we talking about? I lost all track.
It's like the scene in The Boys gone horribly, horribly wrong.
Oh, never mind. Forget I asked.
Yeah.
Dev, why would you guys
Oh
put
my
that in
God.
my head?
Okay, so I've just found Meat Spin. It looks exactly like it. I just need to make sure it's not showing a penis on screen.
It is the penis, yes.
No,
No.
not the original Meat Spin. Like this one looks safe.
No, David, don't.
So,
Just
I
no.
want to imagine this.
Look, my innocent
This
eyes.
looks like Elmo, right? No, this is Elmo, right? So it's Elmo with an elephant trunk spinning around. So imagine that, but it's instead of a trunk, it's a trunk, right? And that trunk, it just opens at the end. And it goes Bruno.
Oh my
That was
gosh.
funny. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
don't put me and then run away.
You're my stand-in, mate. You're my stunt double when I can't handle things.
Wow.
You're my meat
Take it,
shield.
Cap. Take it, Cap.
Yeah, your meat shield.
My meat shield.
yeah, meat shield. Literally.
Does it spin?
No, it doesn't actually. I can't make it spin.
You could, although to be fair, so MCU is gonna do the Fantastic Four movie, and then after they're gonna jump to Robert Downey Jr.'s whole, Doom thing. That's their still plan. So how's Mephisto is gonna go and play into all this? Thing?
Okay, so Mephisto is that guy who just suddenly shows up every so often to offer something for people's souls. It's his thing. He doesn't need to fully be there. You're just like, hey, you want this apple? I'll give me a soul.
Yeah, Mephisto is he said he posed as the devil and gave Johnny Blaze the power of the Ghost Rider.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he also took away Peter Parker's family so his grandma could live, or his aunt.
Yep. I think, do you think that's when they kind of broke Spider-Man a little bit? In that when
because they can't write Spider-Man as an adult. He has to be a kid with no girlfriend.
I think the only time they ever take risks with Spider-Man is when they do a horror story with him.
I know when they did the MC2 universe, when he grew up, he became a parent, and his daughter was Spider-Girl, because Peter's leg was broken.
Yeah, poor Peter.
Yeah, poor Peter. I wasn't really listening. Guys, anything else that we're covering here?
I would like to discuss K-pop Demon Hunters.
Go for it.
Okay, so Netflix made a movie based on the concept of the Korean pop fandom, where there was a group of demon hunters who have a side gig as K-pop artists. So in order to take them out, the main villain called Guima.
Wait, is that the front man?
Maybe.
It is. Look, I just literally looked it up. So look, I recognize him straight away, and you just said Guima. And when you look him up, he is the.
Oh my god!
Okay, I'm watching this film. Is it good?
It's all right. Oh. It's more well known for
the memes are good though. Like every other Demon Hunters,
I will pay you to watch something, anything, without the memes.
No.
Dev, I've offered to pay him to stop trolling me in my comment section. He's not going to do it.
I mean, my favorite one has been the one they did with Dante. It's like Demon Hunters trying to kill Dante and Virgil. The other one is Sam and Dean, looking at the K-pop artists and Sam Dean going like, "You guys are demon hunters. You look like Kate Banshaw."
Okay, so basically these demon hunters moonlight as K-pop artists. So the actual demons send in demons who pretend to be a rival group and make them less popular and take away their power or something. They compete with the actual
demon hunting powers are based on popularity.
Yes.
It's like gods.
How strangely modern.
It's like belief. It's like faith, belief, etc., etc.
Oh, okay.
The more people believe in them, the more power they have.
So basically, their powers are derived from if you believe in fairies.
Yeah.
It's derived from YouTube hits. It's derived from YouTube hits.
It's just the Peter Pan movie from the 2000s. I do believe in fairies. I do. Yes. I do.
Yeah, I mean, everything is kind of based off like that. I think they kind of did that with the gods themselves. I would say in one of them, they say, all gods are dying because no one prays to them. They're down in popularity.
It is a very good show, but the animation style has people questioning it a bit. It's a very good movie. It's a movie.
I definitely need to check this one out.
Release the Kraken.
K-pop Demon Hunters. Wait, it's a musical?
Yeah.
No. No, it's not a musical. Yeah. It just has K-pop bands in it.
Okay, because it says here musical. Right.
Yeah, go with it.
I mean, it has K-pop on it. What do you expect?
Yeah, that's a very fair point.
I know that there was an 80s show that was based off a band, right? Gem or something like that.
Gem.
Yeah. When this came out, I feel like, oh my god, they're reviving.
I watched the live action movie for that.
Why would
I
you
didn't
do that
watch-
to yourself, Dev? Why would you do that to yourself?
Have you not seen my collection of live action video game movies?
No.
I'll go get it.
Oh God.
See is what?
My collection of live action
Apparently,
video
he's
game
going to show me
movies.
A
something.
live action video game.
It's very big.
Now, speaking of live action video game movies, this isn't one, but guys, apparently Megan 2. Have you guys heard this? I was going to see
Yes.
Yeah.
Megan 2. I haven't seen it yet.
It's
I'm not that fussed. Apparently, they've changed the genre and
yes,
they
have.
it's a horror film.
Yeah.
okay.
Fundamentally
So
changed.
I've seen it because they changed it.
Ugh.
Oh, Dev, why? It was good. The original
Yeah,
was
I
good.
I can't do horror. You don't say, like, I won't spoil it, but I will say this.
My channel. Most of it is
Yeah.
horror.
I will say this. Megan 1 was Terminator 1. Megan 2 is Terminator 2.
That's okay. That I was going to bring up in a second about what films have successfully changed genre, and I would say Terminator 1 being a horror film, to Terminator 2 being like 20% horror with a few.
It's Resident Evil 4, David. The Terminator 2 is Resident Evil 4.
And I made a video all about that as well, right? But yeah,
So that is the best comparison I can make.
That is, yeah, but I think that's probably a really good one. Other than that, has there ever been a movie franchise that changed genre where it's been for the better?
I think TV shows does that even more than movies have done, I believe.
What TV show has changed genre?
I know Legend of Tomorrow became a comedy during season 3.
Which
The
one
first 2 seasons were like grim, dark, and everything's gonna die, and like apocalypse, Terminator
Yeah.
style. And then season
I
3
think-
onwards became comedy.
You could argue that like Thor Ragnarok was a comedy, whereas the
Oh my
previous
God.
two were.
Yeah.
But
I would
like
say it didn't.
Marvel
I
kind
didn't
of-
say it did. No, I would say completely. Well, here's the thing with Thor movies: they have been inconsistent from the start, right? From the first, they start off as these are the gods and like this Shakespearean type of Marvel movie, and then in the second film, they kind of go a little bit sci-fi-ish, where they say, "Oh, we are not gods; we're just powerful aliens that live longer." And in the third movie, they kind of bring it back and they say, well, we are gods. We just make absurd pop culture references. But we are gods.
But
So
you go on.
yeah, but they have always been this weirdly inconsistent and tonal-wise changing and everything.
But see, I think so. Like, I think it's like fair to like mention about like Thor, but I think just because the Marvel films are a much bigger thing, you can't just say it wasn't that they just went from Thor 2 to Thor Ragnarok, because you had Avengers films in between. They did Spider-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy, and so it kind of evolved the series, even if it didn't have those same characters.
I think David, Thor has been the most consistent in the Avengers, except for Endgame. He has been the most consistent in the Avengers film, except for Endgame. Because if you see the first one, he's still like, you little tiny humans, and he's still the like god figure. In the second one, he's still like that guy who chokes out Iron Man. The third one is Infinity War. Makes still jokes, but again, still the guy who goes, "Bring me Thanos," and like still like the god of thunder. And then at the end game, he's Big Lebowski.
Okay, Dave, I'm just going to quickly check. Are you regenerating at the moment? Because you look like you
I
may.
might be. No, it's the sun. It's right on my left.
Yeah, it's like
Otherwise, I
40
have to move like this
degrees
close
in-
to be away from the sun, and no one
It's
wants to see a zoomed in
transforming.
version of my head.
Is transforming.
I've got David. Look, I've got etheric beam locators.
Dave, did you have a?
I was going to say with your question, I think I might have one, but
Go for
feel free to say I'm wrong. I was going to say Alien had a bit of a change. Like in terms of like, Alien was a horror film,
Yeah.
and I'd say specifically Aliens, the sequel or the second film, was an action movie.
Yeah, I think that's kind of fair. There's still aspects of horror, but the first one was. Yeah, I think that's fair.
I'm saying specifically Aliens, not because Alien 3 went kind of back to horror.
That was just a shit movie.
And Resurrection, we never speak of that ever again.
Yeah.
And then I would say how bad Alien versus Predator Requiem is, but I couldn't see anything.
It's so dark. That was, I genuinely couldn't understand what was happening in that film. You kind of touched on something though, because even when you say about Alien versus Predator, that was something like a kid's film. Lots of films like RoboCop, I think, is the best example of something that was like really adult, and the third film was just a kid's film.
It wasn't the TV series running alongside, like after the second film.
Yeah.
That was after the second. Yes,
I think it came after RoboCop 3. It's
because I know because he changed his right arm or his left arm that they changed into like a multi-tool or something.
Oh, I
didn't see RoboCop 3. I've only seen the first two because those were the two good ones.
I don't even particularly like number 2. It's too miserable.
Is it the number 2 one where's the one with the truck kid? Or is it
the evil kid who's like addicted to drugs?
The one who shot him in the face and he realized it's his son or something like that, or weird thing.
There is something like that where he's worried that his son is on drugs, but there's like a kid who's an executive or something. And then, but what's they call it? Like Nuke? Is it called Nuke?
Yeah, I think
like
something
the drug.
like that.
But my favorite bit in RoboCop 2, where they like try to replicate. Whoa, shit! Suddenly,
Oh! I've been shot.
Yeah, Eddie Ryan just walked in the room, right? But like, where there's like, and presenting RoboCop 2, and you just see this other RoboCop who just like stands there and he just goes like screams and rips his skull out because they all go insane. Do you remember that? I guess I'm gonna. Oh, I can't find it. It'll be too graphic. Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna say like you can't really show it on the stream.
RoboCop 2.
I'm gonna have to go and rewatch RoboCop. Like I don't remember that.
The first one,
The second one.
but these. Okay, I'm going to show you this image.
Although
this is just great. They're like presenting RoboCop 2, and this robot just rips its skull off and then rips its head off.
That's what it did.
Like, I love that sequence. That's a lot of fun.
It's like if C-3PO had a nervous breakdown or something.
Yeah.
isn't that the basis of the Cyberman though? It's why they have these cybernetic inhibitors. So they don't do that.
No, Cybermen have neural inhibitors because they can deal with the fact that they are machines.
Yeah.
They went insane during the cyberization.
Wrap this one up. There's going to be extreme improv in a few minutes, and I need a quick break in between. So let's find out where we can find everyone. If you've got a geeky recommendation, Cap.
You can find me on Swordbeats, where I sing and dance with robots over the bucket, and I work with puppets. I can't really recommend that. I don't want to recommend that. It's a saucy anime. Somehow I can.
Wait, which one?
I'll tell you about it afterwards. So my recommendation for you this week: go watch the Penguins of Madagascar, the series, and you can check me out on YouTube on Swordbeats. There's going to be a cool podcast episode this Sunday dropping, where I'm collaborating with the Warhammer YouTuber, or I'm drafting Disney characters into the Warhammer 40k universe.
Amazing. Okay, Dev.
You can find me here, and my recommendation is go outside and touch grass.
Right. I've never understood what does that saying mean? What does touch grass mean?
Okay. So basically, it's to reference people who are so indoors and on the internet for so long they overanalyze everything without.
Well, thank you, Dev. I have seen that so many times. I was like, I don't know what this means. Right, Dave.
Been indoors too long. So
people are always telling me, you know.
So you can find me here on Extreme on various shows, and you can visit my own YouTube channel, Dave MC Gaming, where I do Let's Plays, and I'm now moving my live streams over to Twitch, still at Dave MC Gaming. And check out the links here as well as my gaming merch shop, where you can find characters and slogans and catchphrases from the gaming channel. And there's my Discord as well, the Yellow Duck Tavern, where you can come and chat with me and talk bollocks, basically, like a British pub, except no beer. So bring your own beer.
Excellent. And my name is David Pstansky. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at David Pstansky. Go to extreme.tv. You'll be able to find Geek Battle merch, but unfortunately, the color of the logo doesn't really like the green screen aspect. So do that. And with that, until next time, stay freaky and geeky, and ciao for now. Boom. And we're off the air.